I was a side hustler for about almost 6 years before I started my firm. Sorry, guys, just a little glitch here. In 2017, I turned my side hustle into my full-time CPA firm. And then in 2021, I sold my firm in September of that year. And so I switched what I was focusing on. So last year I launched Firm Nexus and started to take content creation more seriously. I never really did it while I was running my firm or my bookkeeping side hustle. I didn't think it was very important. Obviously, social media back then wasn't what it is today. And so the connections weren't as abundant. So when I started focusing on content creation, I focused on LinkedIn and I started targeting accounting and bookkeeping firms. That's my client, my perfect client avatar. I work with bookkeeping and accounting firms. And LinkedIn is now becoming a massive business-to-business networking powerhouse. And this is where I focused my attention because I wanted to work with firms, with bookkeeping companies that were, on LinkedIn that were trying to develop a professional presence. And I experienced good growth and results, and I'll share those in just the next slide. So from about this time last year to today, I've grown from 1,200 followers to 6,700 followers. So a 450% increase over 12 months. Now that may not seem like a lot, but I had barely used LinkedIn and I was able to kind of increase that amount over that period of time, which resulted in 1.03 million impressions or views on my posts. And then to break it down a little bit more, so we have views, we have likes, we have comments, and then the number of times my content has been shared on other people's networks. Down below, you'll see that there's an app, the Shield app, which you can plug into your LinkedIn profile, and it will help you understand the growth and trends within your own content creation on LinkedIn. It also captures all of your posts and rates them so you can reuse them and repurpose them later on. And I'm not going to get into that too much today, but repurposing and reusing good posts has been a part of my strategy. So if there's a post that got a lot of traction, I try to repurpose it and use it 6 to 8 months later. And it's interesting how if a good post was good 8 months ago, it's still good today. And so you can repurpose that content. And I'll talk about how to create that good content from here. So why create content? The end goal is to get more leads and clients. That's the end goal. Getting likes, growing your audience, those are all steps along the way in terms of getting more leads and more content, more clients. And at the end of the day, there are only 4 methods to get more leads, and you can break them down into these 4 methods. The first one is cold outreach. So that's, DMing people, reaching out to them. This is a cold approach. Most times people are unresponsive, and it's a one-to-one approach. So you are single-handedly doing all of this, and it's very time consuming. The next method is paid ads. So this is very similar to the cold outreach. However, you're leveraging technology, you're leveraging ads to reach out to many people at the same time. So it's a little more efficient. Obviously, it costs more, but you can reach out to more people quickly with a paid ad cold reach campaign. The third method is the warm outreach. So you're reaching out to people that that are in your network that have some exposure to you, friends, family, or acquaintances of friends and family. And then the final method is content, which is a way to reach one-to-many with a warm outreach. And this is where I think most people should spend their time, creating content, exposing people to you and what you do, and building that bridge of trust that is required to land a new client. So going on, regardless of the method, here's the process. So initially, we all start with connections. We have connections on Facebook, on LinkedIn, social media platforms. We have connections in person. And the idea is you want to push that connection to become your contact. And a contact, for me, a connection becomes a contact when you have an email address or a phone number that you can contact them independent of any social platform. So you furthered the relationship. From there, you're going to create prospects. So you're going to get them into your funnel or get them into some sort of sales process where you can get in front of them more frequently, either through a newsletter or blog. And then you want to make them your client through either a discovery call. And at the end of the day, whatever method you choose, from cold outreach to creating content, you have to go through these steps. Now, pro tip, warm leads convert faster, meaning they're going to move through these steps faster than a cold contact, and there's less effort to move them along. Now, things to do before you start creating content, you want to optimize their social profiles. So that means you want to have a landing spot for when people see your content, they're going to click in and they want to learn more about you. So you want to optimize your social profiles. I'm going to talk a little bit about my profile on LinkedIn here, but you can definitely use these same ideas across your Facebook, your Insta, any platforms that you use. So number one, create a banner that explains your value proposition with a call to action. So having your name on there, your company name is important, but that's not the most important thing. This is prime real estate to help people understand your value proposition. So for me, I talk about proven systems to build a connected and scalable firm. There's a call to action in there. So click the link in the bio, and that moves them into my profile. So they're going to scroll down, and there you want to have a good, clear headshot. And then for LinkedIn, having a LinkedIn profile bio is incredible. And this is one of the most underutilized components of LinkedIn. So you want to have a profile bio that describes how you help your perfect client avatar. And remember, this is visible whenever you post on LinkedIn. So when you post a comment on somebody's post, that little bio is going to pop up as well, not the whole thing. So you want to condense what you do into the first, 5 to 7 words to help people understand what you do. And then from there, you want to link into your funnel. So create an entry point into your funnel. And there I have a link to my newsletter, the Firm You Want newsletter. And all this is designed to move people through getting to that call to action, that link to my newsletter. So you want to have similar messages and branding across all your social platforms. So again, I have Insta, Facebook, and Twitter X here. I don't have a lot of followers on those platforms, but I have a presence. So if people find me, they recognize the picture as well as the call to action. And there's a call to action in every single one of those profiles with a link to kind of get onto my newsletter, learn more about me, visit my website. So just to recap, create clear calls to action to make sure that you're moving people to do something once they find you. That might be your only chance to move that connection to a contact. And so you want to maximize how you can connect with them. Create a way to gather email addresses. For me, that's offering, I have a couple free lead magnets, PDF guides to help people learn more about me in exchange for their email address, because then you want to push them into a CRM where you can nurture them and get in front of them frequently. I use ActiveCampaign. We have MailChimp, Flowdesk. These are cheaper, free options if you want to get started with building a CRM. Now, again, you want to get in front of your ideal clients frequently. And if you can move them into a CRM and deliver them content, valuable content, either on like a weekly or bi-weekly basis, that makes sure that you're in front of them constantly, top of mind. So when they want to move forward with a bookkeeper or support in their, with the finances of their business, you're kind of top of mind. You're an option for them to look into. Pro tip, put a solution and a financial impact in your LinkedIn profile. So going back to that little bio under your name. So just as an example, I talk about helping accountants take home $250,000, so profit of $250,000 in their firms. And when you put a solution in there, so I'm helping accountants take home more money, that's the solution. And then the financial impact is that they're going to take home $250,000. And it's crazy how many people reference my bio my profile bio here in conversations. Just last week, I got a message directly from a CPA. He said, I'm not a user of LinkedIn except on rare occasions, but your account popped up in my email. So you know how you get email notifications from LinkedIn? I just popped up in his email. He wasn't even on LinkedIn, but my profile popped up, and then that bio grabbed his attention. And then he went to LinkedIn and he messaged me about it. And so we've had a conversation. You know, he's looking for support. And so just keep in mind that your LinkedIn profile bio is very, very powerful. So I shared an example of how to refine your profile bio in my newsletter a couple of weeks ago. So this is what somebody's bio actually was. And I think it's pretty typical, you know, bookkeeping made simple for therapists and consultants who have outgrown their current systems. That's good. It's a little long. And so I said, well, let's change it to helping therapists upgrade their financial systems to get past 150,000 in revenue. So it's a little tighter. It's a little clear that you help therapists that are making at least $150,000 upgrade their systems. So if you're moving from, you know, maybe spreadsheets to a Xero or a QuickBooks Online, and maybe they have a billing system, you help them create that system to get them past $150,000 in revenue. So there's a strong call to action there. There's a lot of interest that can be sparked with a bio like this. So moving on, what makes good content? Well, this goes for social media posts, paid ads, newsletters, and blogs. There are some fundamental things. Well, there's one fundamental thing that I want you to take away from this webinar. If you don't remember anything else, remember this little tidbit. You want niched and focused content that speaks about problems instead of processes. So problems and solutions instead of processes. I think this is what I used to do. I would get caught up on what I would do. So I would do bookkeeping, I would do month-end close, I would do bank reconciliations, and those are processes which are important to what we do, but are not the problems that our prospects are dealing with. They're dealing with, you know, inadequate foresight. They're dealing with confusion. They're not making good decisions. You know, they may not be aware that they're making bad decisions, but we need to, through our content, we need to help them become problem aware and then push them towards the solution, which is underpinned by our bookkeeping and other financial administrative support. But we want to focus more on the outcome for the client. And I'm going to get into how we do that further on. So we want to have at least one of these, if not three, of all these ideas or components when we create content. So keep these in mind. Number one, we want to make it digestible. So both the structure and the vocabulary, we need to think about who we're talking to. So we can talk about ledgers, we can talk about assets and liabilities. Those things are important, but sometimes they go over the heads of these business owners. So we need to speak more to their language. So instead of saying profit, I like to say money. I know money is a pretty common word. It's pretty ubiquitous, but money, you know, business owners take money home, and instead of talking about, oh, let's increase your profit, you can say, well, let's take home how much money, let's increase how much money you take home. And that is more of what they understand. Obviously, we can talk about profit later on, but for that content, you want to be able to speak to the words and the phrases that they use routinely in their business. We want to make it applicable. So can this information be applied to your prospect? And general information can be applied to everyone, but general information goes past people. You know, when you say I help businesses, that's applicable to every single business, but most business owners aren't going to listen to that because it's not applicable to them and their business and their problems. So share observations, identify problems, and then share solutions. I think that's one piece that a lot of us miss. We share an observation, we identify the problem, and then we end the post. But people are hooked. They've identified it with the problem, and then they want a solution to what you've identified. And so sharing solutions is important. And then finally, numerical. Can you share an idea and apply the learning observation into a financial impact? Again, people love numbers. It helps them kind of grasp the impact to their business. So getting a bit more into digestible. So structure optimized for mobile. Most people are reading on their mobile device. Each line is cut short so it doesn't go past the width of the mobile screen. So here's an example of of a desktop post on LinkedIn. You can see it's kind of nice and clean and tight. And, I group ideas together, sentences, no more than 2 or 3 sentences. I have lots of white space, no complex run-on sentences. Avoid paragraphs because people just, breeze over that. They're on LinkedIn not to read long formatted content. They're on there to get tidbits of information. And so keep lots of white space within your post. I try to use shorter sentences and shorter words, just so it increases the understandability of the content. And so that same post on mobile, you can see that it's nice and clean as well. So there's lots of white space. People can jump through that information quickly and digest it easily. Vocabulary, so optimize for comprehension. And so if you're struggling to figure out how do you make a sentence shorter or more clear, there's an app, the Hemingway app. Just Google Hemingway app and it will pop up, and you can drop your post in there, and you can remove words that might be unique to the bookkeeping or accounting industry, and really purify the words that you're saying, the content that you're creating, so it's easier to digest. Next is applicability. So call out who you want to pay attention to your post. So be very deliberate with who you're speaking to. A lot of marketers say that you only have to speak to one person when you're creating a post. So keep that in mind. Think of your perfect client avatar. Who are you speaking to? And will they listen if you call them out? So here's a post. So the top part is, this is how to avoid being terrible at advisory services. So for me, I was calling out firm owners that want to move into advisory services. And avoid being terrible. There's a lot of firm owners that avoid moving into advisory because they just don't know how to do it. It's a task or it's a service that they weren't necessarily trained to do. They like compliance, they like bookkeeping, tax prep, but how do you move into advisory services? So I get in there, I make the problem as applicable make the problem as applicable as you can for the reader, agitate the problem. So talk about the impact of not getting clean books, or the impact of not following through and doing certain things in their business. So you create kind of this emotional connection, this emotional hook, and then offer a direct solution to the problem that you've identified. So after I've created the problem, agitated it, I move into the solution. So be specific with your solutions. General solutions are no good. These are things that you can just Google. If you say, okay, well, you need a bank reconciliation to make sure that your bank ties to your books, that's a solution, but it doesn't really move them to action. However, if you do a bank reconciliation, that your bank is tied off, but then you're ensuring that you're not missing expenses, you're not missing revenues, and that everything is accurate and you can make better decisions. So the solutions that I provide for this post, very clear. I said, stop using generic KPIs and the default P&L and balance sheet. Here's some other metrics that you can use to improve and increase cash flow, and gave straightforward, really useful solutions to people that are moving into advisory. Because most of us, when we move into advisory, we just create the default statements and say, here, business owners can't read and can't comprehend regular financial statements. It's just, unless they're a seasoned business owner, they don't know the difference between a current long-term asset, current long-term liability, and what it means to them in their business. So focus on KPIs. So I gave those solutions. I gave one more solution. And then I like to finish my post with a punchy final thought to summarize. Do this if you can. At the end, I said advisory is not reporting on KPIs. It's moving clients to action. And at the end of the day, KPIs, metrics, dashboards are what we do in advisory, but the end goal, the outcome, is moving clients to better actions. So numerical, people love numbers because it equates to money. People are always looking to make more money. So include as much as you can numbers in the posts that you offer. So for this one, I talked about, okay, how does an accountant take home $250,000 in a year? Well, let's break it down. It's $20,833 per month. And then what does that look like if you're a bookkeeping firm versus a tax prep versus an advisory firm? And there's numbers in there. We're talking about numbers of clients. We're talking about profit margins. We're talking about gross revenue. And those things really help people identify how they can build a plan around getting to that goal. So it becomes a plan guide for people reading your post, and it becomes a real conversation point later on. So let's move on to a content system and process. So creating good content takes a lot of time and effort. You will need a system and process to get a good ROI on your efforts. So going back to niched focused content, so you need a niche. Now, I know most of you can do bookkeeping for any business, but like I mentioned before, if you advertise that, there's a saying in marketing, when you market to everyone, you market to no one. So you need to trim down who you're speaking to. So if you work with lawyers, speak to lawyers. If you work with construction workers, construction companies, speak to them. And that doesn't mean that you've picked a niche and you'll be with them forever. However, if you pick a niche and become an expert bookkeeper in that niche, your value goes up considerably. And you become the go-to for, let's say, bookkeepers for hair salons that have an online e-commerce store. And then you become that go-to person as the expert. So pick a niche. Then you need topics. So you need to pick between 3 to 5 topics that you'll talk about continually in your content. And this helps you focus the items, the problems that you address. And then from there, you need subtopics. So how do we break those main topics into subtopics to keep your content fresh and to make sure that you are offering a lot of value along the way? Meaning, it's important to talk about the debits and credits, but how does that apply to the other components of their business? Because the financial piece is part of how they run their business. All the operations and financial impact flow down to the accounting system, the bookkeeping system. But if your content can speak to how does finance relate to HR? How does finance relate to operations? How does finance relate to marketing? That's where you're going to start creating really valuable content, because at the end of the day, business owners are wrapped up in operations. They're wrapped up in marketing. And most of the time, bookkeeping and finance is something in the back of their mind. But if you can make that connection and make it valuable, people will start paying attention and investigating how you can help them in their business, because you don't only talk about finances, but then you talk about how it feeds back into better operations. So once you have subtopics, you're going to need post structures, and I'll get into that in just 1 second here. So topic examples. Let's talk about if you're working with online e-commerce brands. So this is quite broad, but we can focus on unit costing. So especially if the client manufactures what they're selling. So how do you break down unit costing for an e-commerce brand? So let's say someone's producing personal lotions, shampoos. How do you break it down to get that unit cost for that business? Because that unit cost is going to help determine profitability. And once you understand revenue versus profit, then you can understand how much does it cost to acquire a client to sell them some lotion or some cosmetic products, because then you can understand what your marketing budget is going to be. And then from there, then that can drive the sales cycle from beginning to end. You have the revenue, you have gross margin, and then you understand what it's going to cost to get that sale. Obviously, there's overhead and operating expenses as well. But if you focus on gross margin and the cost of acquisition for a client, or a customer, I should say, that can really help your client immediately. So number 1, unit costing. Number 2, return on ad spend. So this is big. Most online e-commerce stores focus on ROAS a lot. So, but that's one number. Are we tracking impressions? Are we tracking clicks? Are we tracking click-throughs? Are we tracking purchases, volume in the cart when they sell? There's just so many metrics that you can track. And as a bookkeeper, you can position yourself in that financial system to help them understand all of those numbers. And for content creation, you can speak to, okay, what's the system to track the ROAS? What are benchmark ROASs in that industry? How do we increase them? How do we improve them? And then what's the trend kind of long-term? Number 3, inventory tracking plus integration. And so most mid-size e-commerce stores that are selling between, let's say, $500,000 to $2 million, usually their inventory is a mess. And I've seen that multiple times. So if you can talk about inventory tracking and how to create a system that integrates not only with their POS, but with their accounting system, and then pull all the metrics between those two systems out, that is powerful. And so you can talk about, safety levels. So when do they need to reorder? How much do they need to reorder? How much spoilage or how much loss do they have? If they're an FBA, you can, how do you successfully execute an audit to get your money back from Amazon? Those are all things that you can talk about in your content. Another example for contractors, so estimating and standardization for contractors, job budget tracking, and then project costing for construction companies. Now let's talk about subtopic examples a little bit. So for the online e-commerce brands, so we're going to focus, the topic is unit costing. So then subtopics would be bill of materials, batch manufacturing. What's the difference between manufacturing 100 units versus manufacturing 1,000 units in terms of capacity and team and costs around that, because there's always a setup cost when you batch manufacturing. And then overhead allocation. Now, these are things that we know and can understand and might be over the head of these business owners, but we can simplify them. So instead of overhead allocation, let's talk about, okay, so how do we apply operating expenses to the unit costing of this product? Subtopics for contractors. So let's say we pick the topic of estimating for contractors. Subtopics could be standardization of work and services. So again, I kind of push this with all my clients, both accounting and bookkeeping clients, as well as my business clients that I had in my firm. How do you standardize your work so you can do it faster and better? So standardization for contractors, like if you're a renovator and you're doing renovations, make sure you kind of have a range of the renovations that you offer. You don't want to be renovating everything from bathrooms to garages to doing new builds. You just can't create a system and a business around all those different types of services if you're a small contractor. If you're a bigger one and have lots of crews, then that's a different story. But for smaller contracting companies, standardization of work is important. Templates, so how do you train teams to do the estimating for you? And then digitization of estimating overhead absorption. So how do you create an estimating process that's digital, that you can layer in different types of expenses so you can create a holistic proposal for clients more easily? So as you can see, you can get deep with these subtopics. And then from here, we want to create types of structures of posts. So high level, this is you've picked 4 topics. And then with each topic, you've picked 3 subtopics, and then you have these structures underneath them. So, let's talk about actionable, motivational, analytical, contrarian, observation, options, before and after, now versus future, lists, formulas, and a case study. So you can take that idea and put it into many different types of structures and really drive good content that way. So once you have your topics and subtopics, you'll need to do 3 things. So capture, develop, and execute. So capture, you want a way to quickly capture ideas. For me, I like Trello. Just have a Trello card available where I can just throw in ideas and just leave it there. You can have that, on your phone, on your desktop. I used to use Notion. I didn't like it as much. Trello is a little more straightforward. Trello's free, as is Notion, but Trello's a little straightforward. And then I can move those cards around. Once I've created a card, put content on there, I then move it over to the completed list and it sits there because I want to maintain and keep all my content that I create. I want to categorize it and catalog it for future use. When an idea pops into my head, I sometimes write an email to myself so I don't get too distracted from the task at hand. Or maybe you have a Word doc open on your computer so you can kind of write these ideas down. But if you send yourself an email, just say like, here's an idea, for my contractors, how to better standardize the proposal process that pops into your mind. Maybe you're doing some, bank reconciliation or transaction matching, throw that idea into your Trello and then save it for later when you go to develop the idea. So from there, once we've captured, we want to develop it. So ideas that come to mind usually need to be refined, need to be developed before they're good enough to post. So spend a little bit of time thinking about how you want to develop that idea. My process is capture an idea. If you have time, write down the main point. So at the end of the day, every post should have one key takeaway, one main point, one kind of like I said, like a punchy summary at the end. Like, okay, so if somebody were to just read one sentence of my post, what would that sentence be? And try to capture that idea. Is there a quick story or example that I can add to it? Stories help people remember points better. You know, we learn by narratives, not by theory. And so if you can create a story around that main point, it will stick and it will land better with your prospects and your connections. And then I try to write 5 to 7 sentences for the main value point. So try to develop that idea. So create some ideas before and after the main point. Like, can you drive a narrative? Can you help people understand the situation, create that problem that people identify with? Just write down, don't be too structured at this point, but write down, you know, some ideas to support the main idea. And then I kind of focus on categorization and structure while I write those ideas to make sure, like, okay, do I want to be a contrarian here? Do I want to spark a little bit of controversy? Do I want to take a position? You know, there's a position with everything. You can say, you know, Xero is way better than QuickBooks Online. And I'm just saying this because this is something that maybe we can all identify with, but I take a position that Xero is better than QBO. And if that is your hook, then people that understand what Xero and QBO are will start listening. And some people will disagree with you, but then in your post, you explain why you've taken that position. And so for contractors, you say that you take the position that you should only do, renovations between 75,000 to 150,000 if you have like a 4-person crew. And that's a very specific problem or a very specific example that people in that niche will understand, and they'll start listening to you. So keep in mind, you might want to pick the structure that you want to work towards, whether that be observational or contrarian, when you're refining and developing your post. And then execution. So you want to ensure that your post has a few key items. Number one is you want to have a hook. So you want to have a reason to stop the scroll for the reader. And that is, like I said, the contrarian, say something a little controversial that will get them to stop and read your post, or share like a broad number or something a little unbelievable, but then explain why, you said that in your post. And then again, all your posts should have a main value point, reward for following the hook and delivering value. So reward the reader that got hooked and was like looking for more value, reward them with a really powerful main value point. And so the hook got them in there, and that main value point is why they stayed, right? And if the main value point is good, then they'll comment, they'll like your post, and they'll continue to pay attention to you when they see your posts come up in the future. Everything between the hook and the main value point helps your prospects see themselves in the post, helps them identify with the problem. It makes them open to the emotional trigger. People are not logical beings, they're emotional beings. So if you want to move somebody to action, you want to make sure that you can put your finger on that emotion and move them to action. So pro tip, look for sources of inspiration everywhere. And they exist everywhere. I repurpose other people's posts all the time. The nice thing is that there are very few original ideas. So if you think you're stealing somebody's idea, they've probably taken it from somewhere else. Just repurpose it, add your niche, your expertise to that post, and then you can use that. There's so much content that's applicable for every niche. So don't think that a piece of information is only applicable in certain industries. This is a post that I saw on LinkedIn. He was describing, this is in a SaaS business. So that he was describing how to get 20 clients. Sometimes we're overwhelmed with like, okay, how do we get 20 clients? He broke it down. So you need to build a landing page, send 600 people to that page, get a 10% demo rate, convert 33% of the demos, and then you'll get those 20 clients. So he's kind of broken it down step by step. I thought that was pretty interesting. So I repurposed it. I created a little post in Canva, and I said, this is how I wanted to find clients when I first started my firm. I thought, this is how I wanted it to work. I wanted to find 5 clients, and that's where I got stuck. And so how it really worked was I connected with 200 people. I converted 20% of the people to contacts. I converted 50% of contacts to prospects. And then I sent prospect proposals to half of prospects. And then I found those 5 clients. So it's the same idea, but it's repurposed for, my audience, and it's digestible for my audience. So I just want to share kind of at the end of the day of, some results. So the result is good content drives leads. So this is going back to that post that I had with the numerical options here. So, how do you generate $250,000 in revenue? $250,000 in profits based on whether you're a bookkeeping, tax prep, or advisory firm. When I posted that, these are the DMs that came in through LinkedIn. So there was one here like, Mark, do you offer training courses on how to price CFO advisory services, what to include, and importantly, what not to include in the service? So he was looking for support. He was a lead. Another one, I've been following you for a month now, and I love your content you're putting out. What's the process of seeing if it makes sense to have you consult for my firm? So he's basically asking, how can I work with you? Just based off of this post. He says, I'm at about 500K in revenue, but I'm not sure how to get to the next level. Thanks. Another one, I've been following you online and on LinkedIn and appreciate your posts. Would love to get your thoughts on starting a CFO advisory, FP&A advisory business for someone like me who does not have bookkeeping or a CPA. And then another one, loved your recent post about the potential take home for bookkeeping firms, tax firms, CFO firms. I've been thinking about using my 8 years in corporate and individual tax to start my own firm. Would love to connect sometime. So these are the types of things, the DMs that will roll in after good content. Now, keep in mind, I've been posting for a year, and almost every single business day, so Monday to Friday, I post every day. And so there is a lead up time that comes with this process. As you can see, that most of these people have been following me for some time, and that's typically how it works. I had a client last week. I closed a client, on Monday. And his comment was that he had been following me and reading my newsletter for over 3 or 4 months. And so that process, I didn't even know he existed, but he was on that process for moving from a connection, contact, prospect, and then he signed as my client on Monday. And it was all through content. I currently don't have any paid ads running. I have used them in the past. They are efficient to a certain degree, but it doesn't create a warm lead like content does. So I want to wrap up here and offer something to this Facebook group. So it's designed to help bookkeepers and accountants create better content. And within my Firm Nexus community, there's a content clinic live, which offers real-time support in a mastermind setting. So monthly content creation mastermind for bookkeepers and accountants. And so you come in, much like what we're doing here, and you get feedback on posts. So you get examples of structures, posts that I've used for inspiration, successful posts, and how to create them yourself. It's a monthly kind of accountability group that allows you to create better content frequently. So each month you'll get access to the live content clinic. You'll get 20 post ideas to build your authority. So you'll get that foundation. You'll get those posts to really create your own specific niche content, but you'll get the foundation for that. You'll get direct feedback on your content and posts, so you can share your ideas and say, what do you think about this? And you'll get feedback from the group. I'll be in every session, and then you'll get real-time support to use proven post structures and ideas and sources to generate endless content. And then finally, updates on content creation, tech, and apps. So we'll speak about Buffer, Hype Fury if you're into Twitter X and things like that. So the offer here, the regular price is $49 a month for full access, but there's $29 a month for this group, and you'll save 40% forever if you decide to sign up. The code is available for 48 hours after this webinar, and I can explain how to sign up if that's something that you want to do. Now, this webinar happens at 2 p.m. Eastern, so it is in the middle of the night for all of you. So there is an option to move towards just the content clinic. So you get the recordings, you get the support, the 20 posts per month, but you don't get the live portion because you may not be able to attend in live. So instead of $27 a month, you'll get it for $16, and again, you'll save 40% forever if you sign up within the first 48 within the next 48 hours. So the way you do that is head over to my community, go fromnexus.com, and you'll see on the left-hand side content creation for the live as well as the regular content clinic there, and then you'll just enter the code for the next 48 hours. Are there any questions? I can't see the chat here.
Yes, any questions? It seems to me it's like a paid webinar, it's so valuable. Thank you so much for sharing all your knowledge about content. So have you taken down notes, guys? You have any questions to Mark? So there's a question. What is the Clinic Live? Yeah.
So the Clinic Live is a monthly webinar similar to this, and I'll have a short presentation. So I will share examples of my successful posts, other successful posts. We'll break down the structure, how digestible is it, how applicable is it, and are there numerical components to it, and then give examples that people, bookkeepers, accountants can use in their own content creation. I'll also share the system that I use, the Trello system, and essentially give the Trello cards access from Trello cards so that you can drop in directly into your Trello. So you have those 20 ideas a month, and then spend that time, that hour, if you come to the live session, to refine your own content. So you can sit there and listen to feedback and update your content for the next month. So it's basically a tutorial monthly to create better content based on everything that I shared in this webinar.
Yeah, okay, guys. So you see the code PEOPLES40 for the next 48 hours. You have a good discount. Thank you so much, Mark, for giving discount to accounting people. So yeah, I agree with Mark. It's important to have a content, and it's good that you will be the one who will learn this content creation rather than hiring someone who will do the content for you, because it's more personalized and the attack is more direct to the point. So the reason why I met Mark, because I also like his content. So I hook on his content. Even myself, I check the message. I've been following Mark. Then I messaged him last June 21, and finally he said yes to me last September. So meaning I get hooked also on his content. So it's very valuable. Thank you so much, Mark.
Fantastic. There was just a question here. Elaborate on the fractional CFO is all about. So a fractional CFO is I'm a fractional CFO for two businesses at the moment, and so I provide high-level financial oversight, but on a fractional basis. So instead of working 40 to 50 hours a week, I work 10 to 15 hours a week and provide that high-level financial strategy and advice and system building for my clients. All right.
Thank you, Mark. Any questions, guys? Let's maximize the time of Mark because he's so busy. For sure, right after this webinar, he will receive a lot of connections. For those who's watching, kindly add Mark on LinkedIn. So I'll send the link. Kindly reach out to him and love his post. So super valuable. It's very detailed. Thank you so much.
All right.
Guys, just screenshot the offer until tomorrow, 2 days, 48 hours. So starting tonight, you still have until Saturday, but it's super valuable. There's a 40, how much is that? Sorry, can you go back, Mark, on the amount so they can see how much? There's two options, there's two package.
Right.
Thank you so much.
So this is, yeah, so this is the live. So if you can attend again, that will be 2 a.m. Your time. But if you want to just get that content and the recording to watch at your own time, you can move into just the content clinic. So there's the live component and then just the regular component.
Okay, sounds good. Any question? Please, guys, raise your question, please. Yeah. Maybe my question mark will be, since I mentioned that you don't need to hire a content creator, how about you? Do you have a content creator, or is this really your own experience that you're sharing? Of course, practice what you preach, but yeah, do you have any content creator behind?
So I've never used a content creator contractor. It's always been my own approach. And I think what I've observed is that I've talked to firms that are using marketing companies, but these marketing companies create generic information because the real value is the experience that you have with a specific client. So use examples that your client has run into. And so that way, that content speaks to a small group of people. And that might seem scary that you're kind of being more narrow than you are being wide, but that's the content that is really attractive to people. So instead of shouting at 100 people on the side of the road that are rushing by in their cars, you're going to be stepping in front of 2 or 3 cars and getting them to stop. And then you can speak to them. And sure, you're only speaking to 3 cars, but you're no longer shouting at everybody who's not listening. And so when you have good examples of real work, real clients, obviously don't use real names, but really create and tailor that information around that type of client that you want to work with. And so, for me, my LinkedIn profile bio, very specific. I want to work with firms that want profit of $250,000. So that might mean they're generating revenue between $500,000 to $700,000 in gross revenue. And so I'm very clear on who I work with and who I want to work with. And so, the big firms don't pay attention to me. They might like my content, but at the end of the day, I'm focused on smaller firms that want to scale and want to profit.
Yeah, that's the important thing. Choose your ideal client, right? So it's better you have a niche. Take note of this. You have a niche and choose your ideal clients, so you would not be burned out or stressed when you choose this kind of clients. Am I right, Mark? Yeah.
And I know it's hard. Like, I know creating basic compliance content is easy, and that's what a lot of firms will default to. Like, oh, what's the filing deadline for let's say for tax? The filing deadline for U.S. tax preparation is on the 15th of this month, and so people remind people of this deadline. But a different way, you can still remind people of the deadline, but maybe talk about the implications of not filing on time and what needs to be done. So you've taken that basic compliance component, but added value to it. And so that is more attractive. And again, speaking about individual tax preparation is quite general in nature. So again, I don't necessarily recommend doing that. However, if you are going to do basic compliance posting, add some value to it, make it applicable to, let's say, construction companies. So, hey, the month end for construction companies is happening. Make sure you look at all your projects, look at how far along they've come, look at any costs that have come into, let's say, your bank fee that hasn't been allocated to a project. Make sure that you're, allocating all of these costs to make sure that your project accounting is the best that it can be. And then give an example, like say, hey, I had a client that missed this, and it was a big component of a construction project, and it actually looked like their project was more profitable than it was.
Yes, absolutely true. So yeah, any question, guys? Again, thank you so much, Mark. It seems like it's a paid webinar, so I maybe I'll need to rewatch the recording to see what I can apply immediately by tomorrow. But again, don't underestimate the power of LinkedIn. So as a freelancer, I always remind you that you have a pipeline of a client, and online job site is only one of the marketplace you can give your services, but LinkedIn is more powerful. You don't underestimate LinkedIn. So optimize your profile, follow Mark's suggestion, and apply it immediately. Don't overthink, just apply it. Okay, let's have a
Fantastic.
picture. Yeah, so we can have this webinar. Can you post it on LinkedIn and tag Mark and put some takeaways after this webinar so everybody can see it and give value to others. So participation equals value. All right. So I'm expecting you will post this in your social media, give value tonight to your fellow freelancer, to Mark as well, to say thank you for his valuable content and sharing. So let's have a picture. Okay, slide 1. 1, 2, 3. Say thank you to Mark. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you,
hope we
everyone.
can
Thank you so
invite him
much.
again soon, but different content. But anyway, thank you so much. 1, 2, 3. Slide 3. 1, 2, 3. One more. Okay. Mark, do you have the link for your offer a while ago? So, or just go to Nexus website, right? So
Go to go.firmnexus.com. Let me just drop that in the, I can drop that in the chat here, just 1 second.
Thank you so much for opening your camera. We're live. And again, thank you, Mark. Super valuable. That's the only thing I can say. Value bombs. Yeah. Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, reach out to me on LinkedIn and I'll direct you as best I can. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Bye, Mark. Have a nice day ahead.
Bye now.
Thank you. Alright, guys, don't leave. Tagalog na tayo, guys. So, ayan, Tagalog na tayo sa wakas.
Nakahinga na rin.
I'm back. Okay, so mga nanonood, thank you so much. Grabe, no? Dami nating natutunan kahit ako. Pero, again, yun yung lagi ko nire-reiterate sa inyo. Content, kahit ako personally, ako din ako. And then even me, dati rin, nahihirapan ako kumuha ng people sa LinkedIn. Tinatry ko talagang, sino ba client ko doon? Wala. So, actually, yung susunod nating guest speaker by the end of October, nakilala ko siya sa LinkedIn 2 years ago. Ma-share ko lang, nung nagsisimula ako, just like you, I'm trying to look for a client. Pero siya, lahat sinasabihan ko na ito yung services ko, pero eventually hindi siya pala yung target audience ko. So, naging magkaibigan lang kami sa LinkedIn. So after 2 years, bumalik ako sa kanya, kind of be my guest speaker with 200,000 connections sa LinkedIn. Imagine. So, yun yung mga bagay na nung nag-uumpisa din tayo kagaya nyo, litong-lito tayo sa buhay natin. Ano pa talaga unahin natin? But again, basically, natatawa si Jennifer. Diba? Sino yung naluloka, nakakaisip, ano ba gagawin ko para magka-client? Ang dami. Yung mga hanas nyo, wala na ako sa online job site, ang hirap sa Upwork, sa FB group, dami nag-post na interested, puro agency po. So, LinkedIn, basta magamit nyo siya ng tama, ma-search engine nyo siya, yung hiring, mag-work talaga siya. And then, may share dun si Mark kanina, yung cold email. Nandito si Laika. I think I want to shout out to Laika for helping me doing the cold emails. Alam nyo ba yung template na binibigay ko sa client? Galing sa Elite yun. Ewan ko lang kung ina-apply ng mga taga-Elite. Nakabook ako ng call doon lang sa cold email na yun by 16. So meaning kaka-message mo, ang daming minessage, pero eventually may babalik. Out of 100 siguro messages na isa o dalawang babalik. So yung binigay ko sa inyong laman nung, anong phase ba yun? Phase 1 pa lang binigyan ko na kayo ng LinkedIn message eh. Diba? Ang daming ways. Sa inyo na lang yung kung paano nyo talaga siya ma-maximize. Do you agree? Meron ba kayong LinkedIn message template? Ginagamit nyo ba yun?
Coach, may tanong.
Yes, wag lang math. Yes.
Ano yung gamit yung pang ano, yung parang pang filter out ng mga email nila? Di ba meron din na site para makita yung email ng mga prospect?
May EvoBot yata, pero may bayad din kasi. Tapos, di ba may binigay ako sa inyo last time, sinend ako ng link ng referral code ng LinkedIn na 2 months premium siya. Kung nakita nyo yung sinend ko sa group. Sayang kasi, ang premium, pwede kayo makapag-message directly do sa second to third connection. And then, ang filtering namin ngayon is CPA firm. So, dapat working yun. Ang nakuha ko na ngayong niche is mga accounting firm. Makikipag-collab ko sa accounting firm to do the bookkeeping. So, sa inyo, kung hindi nyo kaya pang sa ngayon mapagsabayan sa accounting firm o mag-apply sa accounting firm, i-niche down nyo siya. Kagaya ng share kanina ni Mark, nakita nyo yung content ko sa e-commerce, pati yung ad spend, talagang di pati yung posting. So, para hindi kayo mahirapan ulit, tumulala kayo ng mga 2 minutes. Diba? Sabi ko sa inyo, ano yung pinaka malapit na ginagawa nyo ngayon na trabaho? Yun yung gawa nyo ng services para mas makarelate kayo. Sige nga. Libreng ano na to, coaching session na rin para dire-diretso na tayo. So, yun yung mga bagay na magagamit nyo talaga. So, i-maximize nyo lang. Tapos, gawa nyo siya ng content, i-follow nyo sinabi dun ni Mark. So ako din, yung sabi ko ako din na-hook sa content niya kasi ang gaganda naman talaga. Tama ba? So ayan. So anyway, ayan. Kaya ako nandito, nasa Manila ulit ako para lang ako nagpunta ng Monumento Baclaran. I'm back. So i-share ko lang yung nandito ba yung Grace? Nandito ka ba? Yung mga nakasama ko sa Singapore. Si Grace, imagine meron tayong accounting people sa Singapore. Sino mag-aakala? Alam ko lang si Grace lang tsaka si Che ang kikitain ko. Pero nung nag-post ako, dumagdag si Kay tsaka si Marilyn. Nasa SG pala sila. And then may nakuha pa kami isang recruit, si Christine. Pero ibang business siya. So, yung ganong networking event, na-realize, Grace, ikaw nga mag-share. Nandiyan ka ba? Kasi sila yung naka-attend ng doon mo ma-realize na sobrang naiiwanan na ang Pilipinas pagdating sa accounting. Ang dami ng latest trend. May mga AI, may mga automations, may collaboration. So ayan, ang nakuha ko doon sa pagbabalik ko, nakausap ko ang Pioneer, ang Zero, sino ba ba? Si Odu. Sino ba yung nakausap ko? Nakalimutan ko na sa dami na inikutan. May nag-reach out na ngayon, magkakandak sila ng free webinar. Tsaka sino yung naghahanap ng cryptocurrency bookkeeping?
Ako yata yun dati.
Ayan. So, nag-reach out na sila kanina. By next week, magsiset ng meeting kung ano yung matuturo sa group. So, of course, napaka-happy kung sinishare yung community. Even yung Zero, nagulat. Coach Jay, nandiyan ka ba? Pinagyayabang ko ang Zero Saga natin. Nagulat siya, pati yung Skype, pinakita ko kung gaano kalaki si Zero sa group. Nakakagulat, wala si QuickBooks Online doon. Hindi siya kilala. Meaning sa Asia, wala. Pakita nyo doon sa wala po. So si Zero talaga, yung major sponsor. Di ba nakita nyo pagpasok, si Zero talaga. Tapos lahat mga nasa likod na lang yung mga support. Si Zero, may mga bagong features ginawa nilang, meron sila ilo-launch. So tapos tuwa sila sa community natin, kaya magkakandak sila soon. Busy lang din sila kasi ang daming ganap. Pero ayun, pinakita ko yung community natin, lalo na yung Zero Saga ni Coach Day. Pinakita ko yung mayroong practices. So, wow, sabi nung yung pinaka-head nila doon si Rachel. So, thank you so much sa mga na sumusunod sa Zero Saga. Okay, any questions? So, yun lang. Ipa-plug ko na lang last batch na natin sa Elite. Guys, asan ba si admin? Admin, pasuyo naman po ako ng link dyan, yung batch 6, last batch na for this year. And naka-promo lang kami kasi baka ma-miss out nyo lang lalo yung mga nanonood. Marami po nagtatanong kung magkano. So hanggang October 9 to 16, ayan, kung makita nyo, shout out to Jen. Paganda ng paganda ang ating website. Pinaganda ng pinaganda. So every launch namin parang halos na yung namin website. So ayan, sino yung mga taga-Elite dyan? So kung meron na tayong Zero Saga, may gagawin kaming QB o serye. Akala nyo may para naman to support yung QuickBooks natin. Okay, doon sa mga nagtatanong, ano po ang Elite 3 months coaching program siya. 3 months, dapat sa 90 days natapos mo ng zero, QBO, tsaka basic. Pero hindi necessarily tapos na doon. Meron pa naman tayong continuous support. So, ito yung freelance bookkeeper yan. Ito na yung proven and tested. Siguro naman makakapag-vouch yung ibang elite members dito how. Andyan si Annalisa, yung mga nagka-client na, si Nalaika, yung recently nagka-client after joining batch 5 pa lang, mayroon in 30 days na nagka-client na sila. So, ayan. Ayan, kaya ako nakikipag-collab sa mga accounting firm kasi last mag-tax season na, so kailangan na tayo magpa-intern. Okay, ayan. 1 year support system naman kahit 3 months coaching. So, naka-recorded din siya. And then 30% to all paid courses. So, may ilalabas tayong QBO course by October 28 to 29 by Coach Julia. Heads up. Payroll and basic, ano yun? Basic, ang tawag ko? Basic tax, W2, 1099, tsaka payroll. Okay, basic bookkeeping by Dean Adele. Of course, Zero Saga, Coach Jay. QBO Seria, coming soon. Meron na kaming napipisel kung sino pwede tumulong sa amin dito. Ayan, mga Zoom webinars like Tambayan. Hindi na ako nakapagtambayan kahapon. And of course, baka nakakalimutan ng Elite, meron tayong chance to win laptop by December. So we're planning to have a Christmas party, heads up na again, by December. It's either 10 or 11, one-day event. So magmi-meeting kami next week. So ayan, shirt. Ayan, yung business plan template ko, yung mga gumamit na to natuwa din sila. Tsaka pricing guide, happy rate. And of course, yung practice set nila Coach Jay. Ayan, yung mga learning material. So, it's all 4,000 lang ngayon. So, ayan. Okay. So, ayan naman yung mga tao nating nag-testimony. Ay, si Glenn. Hi, Glenn. Nandiyan si Glenn. So, ayan. Actually, yung coaching session ko, binalyuhan na ng siguro naman. Ito yung value ni Ms. Yanyans. And ayan yung mga value per recorded. So, 45,000 ngayon, 5 na lang. So, naka-early bird, 4,000 lang po. Yan. Okay, and then ayan po siya, para lang hindi niyo makalimutan. So, ayan. Andyan ba mga elite? Pa-vouch naman tayo. Ayan. Pa-vouch naman yung elite. Kung worth it yung 4,000 you guys, sulit ba? Ayan. And then, I'm happy to announce next week, nasa Jumpstart kaming lahat. October 21, confirm, nandun po kaming lahat. Meaning lahat, si Coach Alma, si Fats, si Judy, si Jen, si Coach Jay, si Coach Neil, si Dean Adele, si Tita Maya. Si Boss Jay siya habon. Yan, si Boss. Si Pen, kasama namin si Pen sa crypto. So kung gusto nyo kaming makita, yan. Mapipili pong intern kapag meron po kayong assignment na gagawin sa akin. Alam po ng mga intern ko yan. Alam nyo po ba yung Zoom? Loom, di ba? May alam po, intern, paano kayo nakuha? Pasagot naman po si Karen. Gumawa po sila ng assignment. Hindi po siya math assignment, it's just compliance sa phase 1. So para po, phase 1 meaning, ito yung phase 1, no? Yung how to get hired. Pinagawa ko ng profile optimization, tsaka Loom. Tapos, nung ganun kami sa Loom, kasi para walang bias, nag-Loom sila, para walang bias. Pag nakita yung Loom, na-attract kami sa Loom, pwede ka maging intern, ay nakikitaan namin dun yung personality through dun sa Loom. So sila yung naging interns. 15 yung intern ko. I think happy naman sila. And 4 na intern ko pupunta sa event. So magkikita-kita na kami. Okay? Yeah. Any question? Paano pumunta sa Jumpstart, Be? Ay, makatanong. Rona, ano lang, sakay ka ng likod lang siya ng Mega Mall. So anyway, papuntang Mega Mall, likod lang siya. ADB Avenue. Okay? So, ayan si Jumpstart. Promote ko na lang din. Total nandun kami. Malapit na, 9 days to go. Bukod sa amin, syempre, lahat ng value banks. Ayan. And then, may mga paraffle. Cash price, I think, 5,000 na may magpapa-raffle sa mga sponsor. Syempre, sponsor ang AP. Ayan, ng Insular Life. Marami akong, ayan, sinayan in life, sinabis. Marami pamimigay na, na product. Ayan, sino pa? Andiyan si Kaji, di ba? Si Dami Shari, sila sponsor. And then, Upcloud, si Jack. Ayan, so yan. So, sa lahat po na pupunta, si home base ma'am, si Mami Sheena, of course, si Josel. So, napaka-valuable ng mapupuntahan nyo dyan. So, habol pa kayo kasi I think makonti na lang yung ticket. Although may live, ano sila, may online. Pero yung mga nasa Davao, uuwi sa ano, SM North, ayan, may nagtatanong kung saan. Basta sa likod lang po siya ng Mega Mall, guys. Tapos tanong nyo na lang yung anong hotel yon, yan. Yung Nostalgia. AAD Babino, ayan. Ayan, sinagot ni Josie. Thank you, Josie. Okay, any questions? Next week, meron pa tayong free webinar si John Deep, yung topic. And what else? Ayan. So again, once again, this is the last batch for Elite. So, hindi namin alam for next year, magpaplano kami kung anong next year sa Elite. So baka palaki ng palaki sa Elite. So abangan nyo na lang yung mga mangyayari by next year. So kung gusto nyo na siyang ma-maximize, grab kasi naka-promo pa kami hanggang October 16. Okay? So para walang magsasabi, hindi ko alam, hindi po namin alam, miss yan, may promo pala. Tapos yun, pwede bang ganito na lang. So ayan, binigyan na namin ng 4K. Okay? Ayan po siya. May question ba sa offer ni Elite? So it's detailed naman dun sa site. So sana makita niyo po siya. So again, you will be surrounded by minded people like Elite. Okay? Question. Nagko-question, sorry. Ay, November 11 po, 7 p.m. Ito marami nagtatanong pala. Ano po schedule ng Elite? Normally po ang schedule ng Elite, November 11 is I think Friday. Ang phase 1 po, phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bukas may phase 4 na kami, tama? Batch 5, phase 4 tayo. Medyo marketing side po itong phase 4. So, every Friday, Saturday yung phase 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, yung mga basic bookkeeping Saturday na nagaganap yan 9 a.m. Ang Zero Saga, may mga recording pero madalas 8 p.m. po siya. Ayan. And then, meron po kaming weekly tambayan na tinatawag. Wednesday po yon 7 p.m. So, yun yung calendar of activities. Ginawa namin 7 p.m. kasi alam namin iba may trabaho. So, ayan po siya. Okay? Okay na ba tayo, guys? Gagawa na ba kayo ng content? Oo, podium. Malapit siya sa podium. Lakad lang. No more question. Wala na, guys. Makita tayo next week. Excited na ba? May question si Camilita. Yes.
Ma'am, ask ko lang, gagawa ba talaga kami ng content?
Nasa inyo po yon para maging magamit sa freelancing. Yung tinuro ni Mark, kasi since free naman niya tinuro, apply nyo lang lahat yung sinabi niya. Kung mag-work siya sa inyo.
Okay, ma'am. Ilalagay namin sa LinkedIn, ma'am.
Apo, yung tinuro niya, mga content, pwede nyo
Thank you.
sa marketing, ano nyo po kasi siya, marketing tools nyo po siya sa freelancing business. Although sa getting hard ko do sa phase 1, tsaka sa marketing ko bukas, tuturo ko kung ano naman yung mga nag-work sa aking marketing. Kung ano yung hanggang ngayon ginagamit kong marketing strategy sa sarili kong business as a freelancer. So, yun po yun. Okay, anything else? Pwede na tayong mag-adjourn. It's already, teka lang, stop recording and then